Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about building a second brain. It's also became popular as Karpathy's LLM Wiki. For building this AI second brain, I'm going to use Obsidian knowledge graph way of representing it. So this is the outline for today's session. What is Obsidian? How do we install it? How to use it? Some basics for writing the notes, building a graph step by step, and connecting the Ollama. Basically, I wanted to connect the LLMs onto this Obsidian Notes writing app so that it will be useful for summarization and also writing and also helps for writing. We'll also learn about like plugins. How do we use plugins inside the Obsidian? The LLMs are basically connected to the plugins. In this case, I'm going to use the Ollama, which runs on my local laptop. Helps to run some of these LLMs. And finally, we'll see a use case. How do we read a book using the Obsidian knowledge graphs? So what is Obsidian? Obsidian is an application that allows users to create and manage nodes using the plain text markdown files. Basically, all this nodes is plain markdown files stored on this local system, and they are easy to migrate and easy to take a backup and also easy to process with other tools. Why do we take this? Why do we turn the nodes into the graphs? Basically, nodes, whatever we write into our personal notes, is nothing but like several ideas that we write it into different times. It's a good idea to keep them into a hierarchical fashion and then see the connectivity between these ideas so that we can easily correlate. The other usefulness is that you can easily discover from your recall. Like sometimes you might forget all your ideas or the new thoughts, so that this is also very useful to discover all these things. So let's talk about some basics about basic building blocks. So once this basic building blocks is done, I'll actually show you how do we use it inside the Obsidian. So the Obsidian is nothing but this note taking, right? Like inside the note taking, we can create a links using these brackets. When you put everything into the brackets, it will become a link. These are the links that are useful to connect from one node to another node. A link is a two-way of it. And also there are other ways to there are we can also tag them in using the hashes. When you write any of the nodes, you can write it like below, like hash build and hash like in this example I wrote it as select law, etc. So we can also highlight this some of these nodes that we are actually taking. So the idea while writing the notes is to have one idea per node so that it is very simple for you to organize and also have a uh, like meaningful connections between like various nodes instead of having a very long nodes into one place. Right, so whenever you have this one idea per node, they can actually small nodes has like a proper like a connection between these two. So the folder structure, you can take it as like this. We can put a vault, and then inside the vault you can have like inbox, resources, and concepts, and the people. This is like a very simple folder structure which can be connected between uh, these all these concepts together. These are like overall the steps. Like we can first, you need to capture your nodes and then make it as simple as possible. Link this data from one another, and you can grow grow these hubs between through these links. And finally, you can also have this complete graph view um, overall, and you can also see if there are any orphans left and how do you connect them into different aspects of your nodes. So for connecting the LLMs, Copilot has their way of doing it, but in this case, I'm using Ollama. Um, which runs onto my local machine, which helps to connect uh, like Obsidian through the plugins. So using this Ollama, basically you can run these models, pre-built models, pre-trained models, basically either Llama or Gamma and many other things. The other thing is for this one is to have the smart connections. Okay, basically you can have you don't need to have a lot of prompt here, and it actually surfaces what you forgot and then suggested any kind of missing links. LLMs used to useful in these cases. And another way of like getting the data into the vault is using your MCP agents. If you have an MCP agent, you can directly connect into this Obsidian vault using this REST plugin, and then convert into a markdown. Later this can be connected. So to summarize this LLM's usage, you have a vault, and vault has the index. From index you can retrieve all the data and then connect it to send it to the LLM and generate the output. Now I would like to give a quick demo on the Obsidian. So before going to the demo, if you haven't installed it, you can go to this obsidian.md. This is the website for building this notes app with a knowledge graph. You can click on this link, which actually downloads the DMG file, and you can install it. Once you install it, it opens up like this. For this demo purpose, what I did is that I asked Claude to build, okay, if you look at it, I asked Claude to build a simple vault for the Obsidian. It actually built this various folders, structures, and also with some wiki links. You can see here, based on my past conversation, it built this MCP pattern, language, nodes, and also this open clause agent. All these things is actually built by Claude. So once you have some kind of nodes, or like once you ask an LLM to build it, this is for experimental purpose, that's why I'm building from LLM, but in general you can convert your own nodes. You can see that reveal the folder, and then you can directly dump the folder under this Obsidian vault. Okay, anything that you bring it up, all these nodes is actually coming from that. So once you load it, you can see the complete graphical view. See, this is the complete graphical view. So this is a different view that I built it. Okay, and these are the links. Connection between these two is like little less. Okay, and this is if you look at this outer surface, this is what I have built using the Cloud Eye. Okay, so now I would like to see how do we write some nodes. So you can directly create a new node. You can write some random text based on whatever notes you're taking, and you can create links like this. So I have this link where I wanted to connect the previous data to here. You can also tag, right, book, and then build. While you're building it, if you're curious about the graph view for this one, you can click on these three dots. You can see the local graph. You can see this test for YouTube. You can see this one, but it doesn't have this book and build links. That's because of the filters over here. If you add the tags filter, you can actually see the overall. Okay, you can also see this example of some text has written. This is because I connected the LLM to this app. I will see how do we connect. So before connection to the LLM, I wanted to show you Ollama. Ollama is a uh, one of the easiest ways to run this open models onto your local machine. It's a tool which helps you to do that. If you don't have it, you can actually install it, Ollama and all. It installs everything. Whenever you want to run the model, you can say that Ollama run the model name, Llama 3.2 or Gamma. So I'll show you how I ran it. If you can see here, after installing it, I just did Ollama list, which actually shows what are the models that are running. If you don't have anything, then it will not show any data. After that, you can say Ollama pull Gamma 2, which actually was pulling all this model. This generally takes little longer time because this model is huge. Then I was running Gamma 4. Actually, in fact, I wanted to run the Gamma 2, but I was running the Gamma 4. When again it pulled it, and then it actually ran that model. To test if it is running, you can go to your browser, or you can also run a call command here. And if you say Ollama running, you can see it says that Ollama is running. Okay. In general, Ollama comes on this port 11434. You can change it if you want it. Okay. So this is another way to test it, Ollama API tags, which actually tells what all the models are running, and then different metadata related to these models, right? Once these models are running, now we can go back to Obsidian and go to the settings. The settings has this plugins. Actually, there are core plugins and the community plugins. Core plugins helps you to do the setup of this backlinks basis, and then whether you wanted to see the graph view or many other things related to the app. And there are also community plugins. You can browse the plugins. There are like several plugins like this: Xcon, Attempter, Data View, tasks, and many other things. In my case, I installed 4 plugins: this calendar plugin and AI providers, local GPT and companion. Calendar plugin, I'll show you. The local GPT and the AI providers both are useful for connecting the LLMs. Okay. So the calendar plugin, if you look at it here, it actually shows up this one after installation. So the other, whatever the plugins that you install, you need to enable it. Go to this community plugins, make sure your restricted mode is off, and like enable them. Once you enable them, you need to configure these AI providers in order to connect to the LLMs. Click on this one and click on this plus button. The settings will look like this. Okay, so you can select whatever the provider that you have, and provider name and provider URL. Whenever you click on this refresh button, it loads up all the models you are running. In my case, it automatically load up this model. If you have more models are running, it actually shows up all the model. You can select whatever you want, and then finally you can run the check. The check will automatically select whatever this model is capable of. After adding these AI providers, you can go back and click on this like local GTP, set up the local GTP, click on these options. The local GPT automatically loads up this models, and after that it has this several actions list: the general help, continue writing, summarize, and etc. You can use this ones as part of your note taking. So another important step is that this hotkeys for whatever that you build it, it's required to have this hotkeys. You can go to the hotkeys and then select for local, and it shows up local help and continue writing and etc. You can click on this any of these ones here, and then you can press key like this, right? Command and then whatever key. Mine is a Mac, that's why I'm pressing command. But in this case, it says this the key is D is already used for some other purpose. That's why we cannot use it. But this is how you add it. You just say plus and then command and then letter. In my case, I'm taking this general help and command H and the summarize command M. We can see how to use both of them. And finally, I do have also the companion plugin, which actually helps you to write this autocomplete with AI and then uh, other things, right? So let's see the actual uses of it. You can close this one, go back to your notes. Okay, I'll take an example of other one. I do have, yeah, this dinosaurs example. Let me clean up the previous text. I'll just clean it up quickly. And now here, after writing it, uh, I have this hotkey as command H. I'm just entering. It generally takes some time because this model runs on my local laptop. It's little actually slower, but you can see it's writing it up, right? Like it's writing up, understanding the time, illuminating how complex ecosystems rise and etc. If you like it, you can simply take it. You can also highlight using this equal to. Okay, this is the example of highlighting. And let's do the summarization part meanwhile. If you want to summarize, you can select and then type command M. That is the shortcut I gave. It runs it and then summarizes. Yeah, as you can see, previous this general help is it has written all this like text, this whole thing. It's still writing it. I didn't use the sophisticated prompts here. This is a simple prompt. That's why it is writing so much. You can put like a lot of prompts around it, make it like a more cleaner while it actually writes it up. Right, it gave this whole thing. Now the summarization part is working here. It actually summarizes this whole text. Yeah, it says that the study must tracing the enduring story, demonstrating evaluation continuity, and also it's a simple summary. So similarly, I have this companion where I can like do the space select, and then when I put a J, that is what I gave it the shortcut, and it actually auto extend. You can actually select it or not. Okay, this generally somehow this plugin is like yeah, you see this auto extension, it writes it up. Okay, you can say tab to accept it, whatever you want. Yeah, this is how the plugin is useful for you. Like you can use this plugins, connect to the LLM summarizes, and also take the notes and highlight the notes and all such things you can do. Going back to the presentation, the other interesting thing that I wanted to talk about is how do you use to like in the real-time scenario, how like real-time use cases basically. Um, so whenever you read a book, right? If you want to like read a very long book with 300 to 400 pages and all, it's actually like a complex. But if you look at most of the books, the author talks about like a maximum like 1 to 2 ideas or 2 to 3 ideas as the main concepts of the book, and then around that book they put all these examples to prove their points and all. Okay, if you take that concept, if you think in those directions, right? What I generally do is that if I wanted to read like a complete like a big book, I generally take it and then try to convert like each chapter into some kind of notes and all, and connect them into this knowledge graph, right? A knowledge graph like this, so that each concept becomes easier. Like even the human mind can easily map this, easily remember, like when you have these mental maps. Using these mental maps, you can understand and then grasp the concept of a chapter or a chapter of a book like pretty quickly. And that's how you can fairly, with a decent amount of time, you can complete reading the book, the major concepts of the book and all. If you are much interested, you can dig deeper into it. Like, so this is the recipe for the book. One note per chapter. Extract recurring concepts, and then people and work process as a notes, and then reading graph and all. Right. All these concepts you can apply when you are actually converting that book into knowledge graphs. That would be like super useful. So when I seen this AI second brain at the Obsidian knowledge graph, most of the people was like teaching you how to build the graph. They don't give any use cases or how to use the graph and all. In this case, if you have like any book, any like a huge books or any books with a lot of characters and the relationships between them, or if you have a websites or the huge documents or the research paper, this is one good way to break down into smaller notes and then connect them together. In this for this demo, what I did is that I took a book. Okay, it's called This Great Pianist. This is an open book and a free book. I gave this book to Claude to convert into this Obsidian style of like a chapter or notes taking. So what it did was it I uploaded this book. It actually gave me this knowledge uh, knowledge graph for it. Okay, I'll show you that one. Okay, it's here basically. If I reveal in Finder, you can see this great pianist, right? All these concepts basically came from the Claude. When I gave the book, it converted into the main chapters into this different MD files, the masters and all. Once this everything is done, I dumped this whole directory into the Obsidian Vault, which converted the whole thing into a book, right? The whole book into a knowledge graph. This is that knowledge graph. Okay, how these different concepts or the various concepts are connected together, right? Suppose in this case, suppose if I simply wanted to read about one master, the Chopin, I can go here and then I can see how the master is connected to various aspects, right? Various aspects or various points. This way I can easily remember what all they're doing, what are the people that they connected, different interesting things that they did and all. I can also do one more thing, right? I can take this whole thing and I can ask the LLM to summarize, right? So once you have these kind of relationships, once you understand, if you wanted to read more about it, you can simply ask LLM to summarize. I did ask it earlier. It was summarizing like very clearly like this, right? So that way, right, the major concepts, the important concepts of any book you can easily grasp. Majority of the books, if you take like non-fiction books especially, they actually talk about like 2 to 3 points to emphasis on the book, their research points, and after that they'll give like several examples of explaining those points and all. That way you can capture the core through these relationships and also like a simple summary around it. All right. So overall, coming back to the presentation, we talked about how to install the Obsidian, how to you like install the Ollama, how do you connect like different LLMs to it, to summarize, and how do you use this vault for this local models and all. You can also use this to understand this relationships questions and many other things. Yeah, finally, you can read a book or you can read an interesting document. You can read a complex research paper using these ones. That way, it would be like super duper helpful for the people to understand. Okay, that's is it I have for you guys. Thank you so much for listening.